Well, I heard some strange stories about Japanese fans from other bands, but what are your experiences?
Oh,
Japanese fans are awesome. They are really polite during the shows and they listen very well, and they're all really open-minded, and they bring us candy and presents and flowers, and that's nice. and they're just really warm. They're extremely warm. And
they're very happy to have us come play to them in Japan.
But you were saying to her, "Oh my God!" So is there...
Well, when you mentioned that, oh, I heard Japanese fans are wild, and sometimes I don't know, I would go see a Japanese punk band or something, and all the Japanese fans would be like, "Wah!" going crazy. But for us, I think Japan is a very niche place. Everybody has their spot, and we're marketed as something for well-dressed women in Japan because that's who shows up at our show. It's 80% extraordinarily well-dressed women who sit very politely and beautifully, and you look out to the sea of gorgeous Japanese women just kind of looking up at you, listening. And
we play to ladies.
I have to say it's not wild at all.
No,
in fact, it's very calm and relaxing.
Yeah, it feels kind of like you're attending some beautiful tea party, and then afterwards they're like, "Thank you for coming. It was so lovely to have you." And it's like very.
Do you mind?
No, it's great because it's such a difference. You know, you play a place, say Manchester or Dublin, and you have all these young boys completely drunk, like, "Ah, throw me your drumstick!" and they're screaming, and then you go to a place like Japan and it's people like this sitting quietly, and it just goes to show how different the world is, and how even though people say we live in a globalized society and things are becoming homogenized, it really demonstrates the diversity on this planet, and it's really cool. I'm really happy to be a part of experiencing that firsthand.
Okay, this is for you then, because you were saying when the first album went to Japan, it was 5 songs, and then you wrote 3 more extra.
Yeah.
Can you say that this album is your proper first album?
Yeah, I mean it's where the other one was more of a collection. This second one was definitely more like we knew we were going to write an album, you know. So we set you know towards it.
But the first album is in this kind of limbo zone because it's 8 songs, so it's definitely not an EP, and it's definitely not an album because it's only 25 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So,
and the songs really span a lot of time, kind of. I mean, some of them we wrote right off the bat that are on the album, and others were written like later.
Some were written while we were recording.
Yeah. And so
that's the first album we're talking about.
Yeah. But it happened the same with this album.
Yeah.
You know, Fallen Snow was written practically the day after we released Verses. And then Stars was recorded and written while we were mixing the record in the final 2 weeks we had. So it just, things just happened.
We didn't even know it was going to be on the album. We were just like, we were writing songs all the time, so it's not like we're always writing something for an album, but we wrote it and then we were thinking, oh, we should put this on the album because we liked it.
So, but can you say that this album is more a one piece? I mean, the songs actually are knitted more together, or?
I think so.
I feel like, I mean, the songs are definitely all over the place. I mean, you know, a song like Lucky One versus Dark Halls, they're extraordinarily different, but what does unify is we really had a vision for the production of the record, and we had a vision for a lushness that we felt wasn't on that first record, and we wanted to, even though that record definitely had its place and was, you know, it was classified as twee because it was twee. Do you know that? It's like maybe cutesy. What's a good twee band example? I don't really know. I can't even talk. But it's
music for Japanese women.
Maybe.
Twee is kind of like childish, maybe like cutesy, child, poppy.
Yeah, maybe Belle and Sebastian is like kind of like a. But so it was cute, and it definitely had its place. But we just plugged the keyboards into the computer and recorded them. I mean, our producer, Rod Sherwood, he definitely did a lot with EQ and effects, but that was all in the computer. And for this record, we really wanted to expand the range of sounds that we had. So we brought in a lot of live instruments and, you know, Wurlitzer and vibraphone, glockenspiel. We hired some string players and a trumpet and trombonist to come in And there were all these other aspects. Oh, and my husband played drums. So we had all these other aspects in it that we really worked hard to get that vision going. Like Heather was always talking about air. It needs to sound more alive. I need to hear air. I need to hear air. And we would just like work and work at that until we found it.
And